think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's Sunday night. And I'm back on my regularly scheduled program, And I'm gonna get into it because I'm gonna get into the curriculum real quick so I can make this part as short as possible. And then we'll get into the whole ordeal. Part of the curriculum has to involve gaslighting, and amongst gaslighting, we're talking about moving goalposts, right? Moving the goalposts is a manipulation tactic that is often used in gaslighting, and it's important, one, for your everyday lives, but it's also important, two, in boxing conversations, man. You got to recognize this, man. This is how you can know instantly whether or not somebody on some bullshit or not, Let me say again, moving the goalposts is often a manipulation tactic that is often used in gaslighting. Moving the goalposts. A person changes the terms or expectations of a situation to avoid being proven wrong or make it difficult for someone else to meet their demands. People love to do that, man. Gaslighting, a form of subtle bullying that involves keeping a victim off balance. It's like boxing. Creating confusion. It's like boxing, y'all. Or making them doubt their memory. You get hit in your head hard enough, your memory will be affected. In a relationship, moving the goalposts can make a victim feel like nothing they do is good enough. For example, a partner might criticize everything a victim does and withhold love until they get it right. Here are some tips for dealing with moving with the goalposts. Revisit your vision and reflect on the broader purpose, the big picture in boxing. Realign your strategies without losing sight of the end game. We always got to think about the end game. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say, listen, man, balls going in holes, soccer balls going in goals. At the end, what happened? At the end of the day, after all that yapping, what really happened? Seek support from close confidants or mentors. Yep. I see that one that's popular. A lot of people are going to sit on Santa Claus' lap. Not your boy. Not your boy. I'm good on all that. I don't believe in Santa Claus. The phrase moving the goalpost comes from sports like football, where the goalposts are moved after an attempt to score. So you're going to score a point for yourself, and they're going to move them goalposts. How does a narcissist move the goalposts? When a narcissist moves the goalposts, they constantly shift and redefine expectations so that they can never be met. Never be met. It's a manipulation tactic and a form of gaslighting. They used to make their partners feel worthless and never good enough. You go too hard, they're going to label you a troll and it's over for you. It's ovito. But This is the last part right here. I thought this was very interesting. I think I went over part of this before, but like I said, I'm gonna make this part real quick, and then we're gonna get into the whole ordeal. Why does a narcissist always move the goalpost no matter how much you do for him? The answers provide insights into why narcissists continually move the goalposts regardless of efforts made to please them. They highlight the narcissist's need for control, fear of abandonment, and inability to find lasting satisfaction as key factors driving this behavior. One of the main objectives for the narcissist is creating as much drama and chaos as possible. They couldn't function without it, as it would mean energy supply would dry up. It's like gas to a car, fuel to a flame. One of the main objectives for the narcissist is creating as much drama and chaos as possible. They couldn't function without it, as it would mean energy supply would dry up. If energy supply dries up, then there's no alternative but to live with their wretched selves. They really do self-hate and in turn hate others. This would be avoided at all costs, and for sure, search out any source for the time being. Their quest then turns to finding a new primary source, usually of the intimate kind. It's always a transaction with them, never a relationship. Nothing will get resolved. They lack accountability and responsibility, and it's always your fault. It's never viewed as a kindness, which you do for them because they believe they are entitled. Emotional development was stunted at a certain period during formative years. This time period varies from narc to narc. Y'all remember when I went over this? Genetic predisposition and environmental factors foster the outcome for these individuals. The right environment enables them to flourish. They got to be in the right environment, y'all. Them A-side shorties, man. They got to be them A-side shorties. They got to be in the right environment for them to flourish. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. They got to be around a pack of wolves in order for them to flourish, y'all. You know, these are the kind where if you catch them by themselves, as more knowledge needs to be known about this condition, it's very hard to work with children who show narc tendencies, as labeling children is frowned upon. Also, it might be looked at as a behavioral problem to be dealt with by standard intervention, as opposed to a deeper observation of what to look for. I don't want to go into that because I'll go into it. It's just one sentence. Yeah, one sentence. NPD can be diagnosed once 18 years of age, but by then it's too late, as behaviors are so ingrained. So they could have been like this since they was 18 years old. So depending on how old they are, if they were like that as they became 18-year-old, like which is the age of a man, you can kind of gauge how long they've been practicing these behaviors. They're very good at it. Keeping the goalposts in their original place would mean fair play, and the narc never plays fair. Loaded questions. You know what I'm saying? A hairpin like trigger. They'll cut you off, talk all over you. You know what I'm saying? Mute you. Violate your freedom of speech. Even if you ain't saying nothing bad, you just disagreeing. Oh man, that would mean peace and quiet for the other party, something that the narcissist vacuum abhors. Yikes. Oh man, that is the narcissist, man. That is the narcissist, man. But my real question is, when it comes down to it, who can we honestly, I'm talking about honestly now, if you can, as much as possible, Who can we honestly say is chasing greatness? Who? Now you're gonna ask Mike, hold on, man. I know you a Tank fan, man. Like, why you ain't listen? There's no need to put him up there. There's no need to put him up there. Right? Because that's just gonna be the breeding ground for the goalpost moving narcissist. I'm not even gonna do that. So to all the Tank haters, I'll give you that. Let's just say the man ain't fighting for legacy. He said, I want the bag. And then became the bag. So he became the bag and he wants the bag. So we taking him off the table. We taking him off the table. All right. So I'm giving all the Tank haters that off the top. You can have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking, these are the usual suspects. And since these goalposts be moving all the time when it comes to these guys, I wanted to compare boxing notes with y'all. I wanted to put a stake in the ground and ask, okay, well, by your definition, what's your definition of legacy? Because I said, and this is why I said, man, I'm not even gonna put Tank up there. Why? Because earlier today I was watching a show and somebody said, somebody was just like, nah, you know, if Tank had fought Baranchek, that wouldn't be good enough. And I was like, well, duh. Fighting Lamont Roach, who's a champion, wouldn't be good enough. And when you look at all 5 of these guys, with the exception of Virgil, all of these guys have just fought. Like, if you go to their fight now and more than likely their next fight, none of these guys are fighting a champion. So that's why I say the goalposts already be moved before the conversation even starts. I ain't gonna charge you nothing for that. Nothing. So it's like, and then when I said, okay, well, if he would have fought Baranchek, then at least that would satisfy some of y'all's, you know, desire for him to unify. They said, oh man, no it wouldn't, man. Baranchek ain't nobody. That's why I said, man, ain't no need to put Tank up there, man. I see it derail people whole shows, man. People don't be having shit to talk about. They put up some whack ass title, switch the conversation over to Tank, and boom, there you go. Just add water. That's what it's always about. And I'll be really trying to get somewhere. I'll be trying to cover some ground. I'll be trying to learn. I've been in spin class. How long I've been a member now? I think I've been in spin class for 2-3 months now. You know what I'm saying? I could quote up under my little thing that lets you know how long I've been in spin class. I could quote up under it, but I'm like, why? It's the waste of my time. It's the waste of breath. They don't care about what I have to say. I realize that. And people only like the truth when their pastor tell it to them. I ain't gonna charge you nothing for that either. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna give you this is part of the post. In 2 weeks, in the span of 2 weeks, boxing fans have thrown 2 boxers completely away. Like, it was all this Tim Tszyu deriding prior to him running into Murtazaliev. After the fight, they threw him away. They said that man should retire. I said, man, damn. I'm like, first of all, they interviewed the man when he was concussed. It was clear he was concussed. He was still dazed and confused. Let the man heal up. Let him relax. Let him get over the trauma, and then you put it. But they're going to shove a microphone in your face. And because they caught him in a vulnerable state, now he needs to completely hang up the gloves. So after Saturday evening, right, in the Catterall, El Gato versus Rougarou, after that whole ordeal, now Regis did, you know what I'm saying, Regis did give him a little rope. He started talking about bare knuckle and all this and all that. He did. But after that, they threw Regis away. Every time Earl Spence is brought up, he's gone, he's done, he's finished. They threw him away, and he had three of the stones, missing one stone for undisputed. They threw him away. Jermell Charlo went through the ring at 54, ran the gauntlet, plenty of names. He's done more than any one of these most recent champions. Only one you can even kind of compare it to is Canelo when he did his 68 run initially. The initial run when he on his way to getting it. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? And people question that. That's the only one that was comparable to that. He cleared it all out. Got a draw. He got a draw and people view it as a loss. It's already ingrained in their mind that it's already a loss. But it was really a draw. You know what I'm saying? Even Steven, I keep my belt. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do this again. He ran it back. He knocked him out. And on his run, when he did suffer the loss, and then he came back, he knocked him out. When he suffered his draw, he came back, he knocked him out. He jumps up 2 weight classes, loses to Canelo Alvarez, and they threw him away. They threw him away. Nobody was crying that he got his belt stripped when he was going in there. People pick and choose when they want to play that game. Nobody was crying for old Jermell Charlo when they stripped him of his belt. Nobody say nothing. They get quiet. You can hear a mouse pissing on cotton if you bring up the fact that Jermell Charlo was the man at 54. We got people forgetting that for a long period of time, you could say what you want about Regis. Before he started going downhill, before all of the stupid stuff that was going on, there was a lot of people avoiding him. The narrative switched the same way on Subriel Matias. Before Liam Pyro beat him, it was everybody and their mother was ducking him. The narrative on that, the goalpost on that has moved. I don't care. I have the receipts. And I also showed a lot of people during that time that I was trying to find matches every which way. From Boots to Shakur to T.O. to Devin, you name it. Gary Russell, Boogeyman versus Boogeyman. I was trying to find it. I scoured it. That's how I do when I got a guy. I did the same thing for Tank. I did the same thing for Shakur. I had a video out almost 10 months, almost 11 months before Shakur even fought De Los Santos, lining it up. So I'm asking everybody, since I don't know shit about boxing, right? I'm like, when do we decide whether we're going who's throwawayable? Oh, okay, let me be more tight. Who's really disposable? That goalpost change. Because somebody could get knocked on their ass back and be looking real sad, Jack. And they can come back and they can get a soft touch and they don't gotta come back and fight for their strap or nothing. So if I were to say Alberto Puello was a boogeyman right now, people would try to stab me in my heart. But who's saying his name? So is he chasing greatness because he won't even go back and get his strap? And truth be told, for the longest period of time, there's information out there. People were saying that Richardson Hitchens and Devin Haney were the same person. But truth be told, they were saying Richardson Hitchens was a little bit better, more offensive, more powerful, more balanced. He didn't have the privilege of being a weight bully at the time. He wasn't down at 35. He wasn't down there doing that. He was up closer to where he normally weighs, getting it in, going through the ringer. Those same opportunities that Dev got, he didn't get those. And that's not a victim mentality. That's the truth. You know that shit that y'all don't like? Right. So that's I'm like, is he chasing greatness? So now the verdict is, so now people are coming out saying that Regis, first of all, people in conversations, right? And I had a lot on my mind, man. You know, I took a couple of days off to be a fan, man. After I seen that stuff that Tim Bradley co-signed and all that, right after that, you know, that same night, you know, T.O. doubled down on it. T.O. doubled down on it that same night. That day when I did that whole Great Value Ashton Kutcher take with Tim Bradley, the bananas and pajamas, T.O. doubled down that night. Remember I told y'all, man, setting precedents, and then like them serial killers progression from going to sniff the draw to taking pictures of people while they sleep. You know what's next? Well, he's progressing, y'all. You know, it wasn't good enough when I said something and everybody was trying to politic it away, trying to explain it away. If you have Terrence Bud Crawford on your pound for pound list, and this guy is going around saying things that is making this person that he want to fight not want to fight him and give him a bag, but still want to fight him to break his neck. Like, is he really chasing greatness, or is he gaslighting? Because here, see, T.O. put you in a pickle, right? Legacy wise, you'll say, oh, well, yeah, he is chasing greatness if you want to go up there and see Bud. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is if you want to do that. And that is the same thing. That's the equivalent of what, that'll be the equivalent of what Bud is doing by trying to jump up. Yeah, you could. And then you can say, yeah, lineal with Loma, lineal with Josh Taylor. So yeah, it's in the vein of it. It's in the vein of greatness. But do you believe him though? So in one breath, he has an argument, right? But then the behavior doesn't match his argument. This ain't like this. It is the Wild Wild West, but it ain't like back in the day where if you breathed and you said Hachu and it sounded like a person name, they're like, yeah, oh, you want to fight me? Let's get it, and they would fight. It's not like that now. It's not like that now no more. You know what I'm saying? Some people can disrespect their way into a fight. But if a man tell you, man, I ain't giving this sap no payday, but wait till I see him. Wait till we out and about, we in the same venue. You seen what happened the last time. Wait till I see him. We're gonna see if he keep that same monkey energy, you know what I'm saying? That same monkey, that same banana and pajama energy. We're gonna see if when I run into him, if he gonna keep that same energy. When somebody got that mindset and they letting you know, I'm not gonna fight, I'm not gonna give you a payday. You can run around disrespecting them all you want. It's up to the other fighter to give you the payday. So if you're taking the wrong approach, you know, like the same thing that Canelo had, because this goalpost move, the same thing that Canelo was saying about Boo Boo Andre when Boo Boo Andre was being disrespectful. The same thing Maul Charlo was doing. Maul Charlo got to the point where he's like, man, I called him everything in the world. I done said this, I done took that approach, man. I just want to fight. They aged him out. They aged Jamal Charlo out. I don't even bring up Jamal Charlo because people act like they have amnesia, man. They aged the man out. And now everybody acting like because he something happened during the process when they was aging him. He fermenting it. Literally. He fermented. And like that pizza man on Spaceball, you know, they said they trapped him. He got trapped in that vehicle, and the pizza man on Spaceballs, you know how he ate himself to death. They allowed Jamal Charlo to ferment, and when he ferment, he drank himself out. That's what they did. But they don't put no respect on his name, man, because that man was heavily avoided. And it goes along the line where it's not going to get the congregation jumping for joy. If you start telling the truth about Maul, that's what happened. Did he play a part in it? Yes, but it was after he was avoided and after he could not get a fight and certain people were avoiding him. That's the facts. That's history. There's a lot of videos out here, especially from my channel that I did in real time, running it down in real time the same way I'm doing it right now. I can't do it no other way. But I see that they like to move these goalposts. But I saw something. Man, because I went over Devin, right, briefly. Went over him. I went over T.O. We got to think about Virgil. We got to think about Boots. And we got to think about Shakur in this lineup. And I went over some things about Tank and why I didn't even say that, because we're going to give him, I told y'all, I gave the haters one. I said, all right, haters, you got that one, man. Ain't even no need, because that's when you're going to try to derail everything with that, so you can have that if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to run, if that's what you want to, put in your rucksack and march on with, cool. That's what's going to help you sleep at night, cool. That's going to help you look in the mirror, cool. We got to talk about these three. But this is also a trend, y'all. People have boxing conversations and they don't realize this because they talk so long, and a lot of times they don't really think, they don't truly think before they actually speak. A lot of times they will do something and then somebody will actually follow suit, and then they'll cry about it. Like, for example, they'll say some shit. They'll start off by saying some shit like, they'll be talking. They'll come out and they'll say some shit like, yeah, but Josh Taylor already beat Regis. They'll bring that up. They themselves will bring that up. And then somebody will say, well, shit, that wasn't Lomachenko's first loss. Salido had already ran through that. T.O. had already been up through there. What are we talking about? And then since you want to bring up the fact that Josh Taylor already ran through Regis, that shoots that shit in the foot too. Oh man, there y'all go, man. Then you trying to tear down a fighter. That's all you do is tear down fighters. Oh really? You do realize you were the first one to bring that shit up, right? You do realize that a lot of times the shit that people be complaining about online, they be the same ones doing that shit first, right? I'ma digress, man. It's gaslighting. That's what it is. Now, my question is, now I'm gonna get down to it. Now that I got, because you see how Devin, he on the far left, T on the far right. Them probably, out of all of these guys up here, them probably the guys that I care about the least. Right? You know what I'm saying? I respect them, I do all that, and it's for different reasons why I care about the guy on the far left and the guy on the far right. Those are the guys that I care about the least. The guys in the middle, those are the guys that I'm more concerned about in this episode. And I want to ask you a question. And let's go with Boots. Let's go with Boots. So I'm gonna bring up Boots first. So we're gonna go through Boots. And I gotta bring this up. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976. The allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. We're doing a research. I'm comparing notes with my boxing friends right now. So this is why I'm going to read this article. And this is just the source. This is just what I got, because I was thinking about it, but you know how I got to do it. I got to wait. I got to find an article that kind of has something along those lines to validate my opinion. That's how it is for me in these boxing streets. That's how it is. So that's my fair use. But let's look at this. Jerron Boots Ennis wants to step up and face unbeaten KO artist. We'd fight him in a heartbeat. We got Boots right there on the scale. Toby Morgan 26 October 2024. Jaron Ennis is set to return to the ring very soon. Ennis will defend his IBF welterweight title against mandatory challenger Karan Chookagian at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia on Saturday, 9th November. The two men have met before, with Boots winning every round in a dominant unanimous decision win back in January 2023, whilst the IBF interim belt was on the line. Ennis was later elevated to full world champion after Terrence Crawford was stripped of the belt due to being unable to fulfill his mandatory because of the contractual rematch with Errol Spence, though that bout never ended up materializing. The first defense for Ennis took place in July, where he stopped David Avanesian after 5 rounds, extending his unbeaten record to 32-0 in the process. Now, that's common opponent, aka Triangle Theory, with Terrence Bud Crawford, even though people pick and choose when they want to say Triangle Theory. That's common opponent, aka Triangle Theory. Same thing. The upcoming fight against Chookagian has been met with some criticism from fans due to the one-sided nature of their first meeting. It has led to calls for Boots to take on a big name next, with the potential step up to super welterweight also suggested. One man that has been touted is Vergil Ortiz. The current WBC interim super welterweight champion and his promoter, Eddie Hearn, has now had his say on that matchup, as he told the Stomping Ground that it had been discussed and they would love for it to happen. The one thing that has been discussed potentially, not really for the February card, is Boots against Ortiz. It has been mentioned before. We would take that fight in a heartbeat. Ortiz is unbeaten at 22-0, with 21 of his wins coming by knockout. A fight against Ennis would be an entertaining affair, but there is another huge name that Ortiz has been linked with, Terrence Crawford. All right, so you like Mike? Yeah, that's talking about Vergil Ortiz. All right. I know that's talking about Vergil Ortiz. My question is, when that came out yesterday, right? I was thinking about this. I think it was Thursday. I think it was that day when that Tim Bradley stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? When the tail put out that Tim Bradley stuff. I was thinking about it that night, and I was thinking about coming back later and talking about this, but I said, you know what? It's kind of wild that now is the time when everybody is talking about Vergil Ortiz. And let's think about that. Because a lot of people thought that Bohachuk actually won that fight. I did. I know a lot of people that saw that fight and say Bohachuk really won. Like if you look at a lot of coaches, a lot of people would say yeah, and then a lot of people that was bandwagon and, you know what I'm saying, on the same team and had that, you know, that on code for whatever reason on that was saying the same thing. When Bohachuk was the champ, because normally they'll bring up this thing, oh, you ain't do enough to take from the champion. They'll say that Vergil Ortiz did enough to take it from the champion, but he was the one that got dropped twice. And then they started redefining knockouts. I remember, because I did the same thing and I talked about gaslighting then. People started redefining what a knockout was. I said, damn, we got to start qualifying with it. We know a flash knockdown and then another something harder than a flash knockdown. But you still beat the count. I mean, how many different knockdowns is it? A knockdown where somebody hits you and your glove touched the canvas, but you don't really go down. Okay, so that's 3 different knockdowns right there. But people started redefining knockdown based on that fight. And they said, oh man, if you look at it, you know, but no, if you look at it, it looked like Bohachuk won. Statistically and knockdowns and the fact that he was the champ and Vergil had to come take it. And it was clear that Vergil didn't do enough to take it. But I find it real odd how everybody's calling for Vergil now. Nobody was calling for Bohachuk. Ain't that kind of weird? And now, let's just say that you were entertaining. Let's just say that you were entertaining. Y'all know what we talking about, right? We talking about Boots. So let's just say Boots was entertaining Virgil. Let's just say that. So that means you're gonna move up to 54, right? But who got the juice right now? Who at 54? Who got the juice? Y'all see what I'm getting at? Okay, so we know that he been saying he wanted the bud. I think they kind of got mature about it, but they talking about moving up to 54. But at 54, let's be honest, who got the juice? Everybody trying to get at Fundora because of the two belts. Him and Bud decided to do the step aside thing for the Spence and stuff, and with later plans, that's a step aside. People are going to redefine step aside. You know what I'm saying? People going to redefine step aside here now because that's a new precedence. Because somebody took step aside. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only a matter of time. It's gonna be a couple weeks, couple days. People gonna be talking about, oh man, that's gonna be a talking point. Fundora got the WBO and the WBC. But who got the juice? Because I remember when I was saying that Boots and Zoo got their belts the same way. I said the only difference was Zoo fought at 54, Boots fought at 47. They took away Bud's belt. They took away Jermel's. They got their belts the same way, cuz. Well, Murtazalia came along and, you know, pretty much shown that his levels. So my whole thing is, remember the thumbnail I did. I said, through your IBF. I said, Boots, through your IBF. I think I took that overlay out. Through your IBF, you can go up. Let's see. I know y'all are. Here we go. Here we go. My bad, y'all. It's loading up. This is what I said. If you really want Undisputed, because you see, I be with you on the whole. I want to go ahead and complete 47. I'm with you. I said that's D block. I be with you. And when you on this, like, I want to lock this up, I be with you. I be on board. The minute I hear it was an offer made to Conwell, but it was a low ball offer. The minute I hear that you saying that you want Virgil and not the guy on the far left who got the juice. When there's a will and a way. There's a will and a way. This is old. Like I did this There's a will and a way for you to get the guy, and that's your way to get to the dance. So we're gonna flirt with, okay, so 1 minute, yeah, you want to be Undisputed at 47, but you're gonna do this from 47 to 68, is what I'm told. And I'll be trying to follow along because I'm a fan of Boots. Not an only fan, but I'm a fan of Boots. I say this is the way. All of this stuff, all of these things, this is the way. You can show Bakram. My lady say he looked like Abe Lincoln, man. Bakram Abe Lincoln, Murtazaliev. You can go right on up. You can put in a petition. It has to be accepted. It's not guaranteed, but you can put in a petition. You can get that. Y'all share the IBF. And I told y'all that day when I did the video that it was no different than me saying that Sabril Matias could have did the same thing with Boots. And I was for it. Did the same segment called Why Not? That's your way, but I'm like, why is everybody acting like Murtazaliev didn't just do what he did to Tim Tszyu? It ain't nobody calling him out. But Murtazaliev, he called out Fundora and he called out Bud. He said either I want the winner of Fundora and Spence or Terrence Bud Crawford. And he was very respectful. But he just showed what he could do in the ring against Tim Tszyu, who everybody was on, who he got his belt the same way Boots got his belt. I was making that comparison eons ago. I said, oh man, that was a goalpost move, and that's why I couldn't understand certain fans. But when I started looking at Boots, and then when I started peeking behind the veil, and I really started looking, and I started saying, man, well, dang, every fan gonna have an argument, especially OnlyFans. I listen to the OnlyFans, and I try to see where they at their core, and what they're all about when it comes to the fighter they're representing. If you look at Devin, his fans don't want him to do anything. They feel like he's already done enough. He already made history. He don't got to fight nobody. He don't got to go back and get his strap. He deserves all the money in the world. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to acknowledge no call outs. He can be disrespectful. And he brings too much attention to himself, but his fans love him for it. That's who they are at the core. Like the goalpost is always moving. The goalpost is made out of KY jelly when it comes to Devin Haney. So I don't even trip no more. They can get out of any kind of straitjacket you put on them, they can get out of it. They know magic. So I don't trip off of that. Boots at the core, his fans say, listen, man, he's the next thing to Roy Jones. He's the second coming of Roy Jones. And I'm like, to the eye test and all that, I mean, at one point in time, you could say that at one point in time. You could say that. But we got to play the what would. The people don't like when I play the what would Breland do game. What would Roy do? What would Roy do? What would Roy do in this situation? In this situation right here, what would Roy Jones do if he the second coming to Roy Jones? What would Roy do? I don't really see nobody saying nothing, man. To me, it's like, I don't know, man, because in one breath, Boots can beat anybody from 47 to 68, and he's for all the smoke. I thought my man Pop was a little off his rocker when he wanted him to jump up and go straight to 60, and I stopped arguing it. I started saying, well, shit, he gonna have to do something, man. That's when I started having the whole making an offer you can't refuse. And I seen Oscar the Grouch, the trash can man, trying to pick this argument up. This is what they do. He tried to pick this argument up and run with it, but he finessed it a little bit. He finessed it, but it's in the same vein. He finessed the argument. But the whole thing is, you can't say that everybody is avoiding you, right? You can't say that everybody's avoiding you, and then when it comes to the bread, you're not making them an offer that they can't refuse. I use that same standard with Tank, and then we look at it and people say, oh man, we never complained about the pay. Oh, it ain't the pay for us. So I'm like, okay, well, he's giving you an offer that he giving you something that you like, yeah, I'm taking it. Yeah, so that's an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, unless you don't want to fight. So I was like, it's only a matter of time before you can't say that everybody's avoiding you if you're not making an offer that they can't refuse. But in this situation, I don't even think you got to do that. Like this would negate the money. In this situation, you could do this. And if Boots is the second coming of Roy Jones, why he don't just use his IBF and go for fight Murtaza Aliev? Go ahead and polish off Karan, because you can fight that guy from over there twice. You can fight that guy from over there twice. Well, shoot, you might as well fight this guy while all of the heat is on him. Like, everybody know he hot. It's fresh. He just did this to Zoo. You go do something like what he did to Zoo to him. Easy peasy. Ingratiate yourself to 54. And then when you do that, guess what you do, Boots? When you do that, you take the guy on the left spot. So it'll be Boots, Fundora, or Boots and Spence Fundora, as if that fight goes through, and then Bud over there based on what Bud would do. You will put yourself in the equation. You'll be a 2-division champion who beat a champion under the IBF. And Boots is a big boy, so this guy, I mean, Boots is a big boy, and he got all the talent. He's the second coming of Roy Jones. If you listen to the OnlyFans. And when I did my deep dive on it, this is what got me. When I did my deep dive on it, I did my homework, because I didn't let them do this to me. I didn't let them divide and conquer me. I saw where Norman's was right, and I saw where they bullshitted a little bit, and I saw where Boots and them was right, and where it was some bullshit going on that side too. And that might not have necessarily been because of Boots and them. That might have been more so games that Eddie played. But nevertheless, I just heard somebody earlier today separate. Well, not earlier today, earlier this week, separate the fighter from his team. The fighter from his team. I said, damn. This man said that Frank Martin, when he turned down that Shakur Stevenson, his team stepped him out. I said, okay, so now he ain't a part of the team. Y'all ain't all one. It's like, what is y'all? Like, what are y'all? A co-op or some shit? Like, what is it? So I'm like, man, them goalposts narcissists do that. I told y'all, narcissists make up shit. They move goalposts. They cause chaos and confusion. And when you got them in the middle of your crosshairs dead to right, they start squirming and squealing. They start acting like they ain't got no goddamn sense. I heard a dude separate, so I'm not gonna separate Boots from the team because he's with Matchroom, and so he gotta be locked in step with what Eddie's doing. Same thing with Shakur now that he's signed over there. It's just like Norman, they gotta consider what Bob and them is doing. They seen what happened with T.O. They probably seen what happened when T.O. got too big for his britches, went over there and got his fucking belts popped off by Kambosos. And they still sign with these people, so they still got to do business. So, yeah, I mean, they had to consider some things. Got to be able to look at it all different aspects, consider all different things. But they used the divide and conquer strategy, right? The only way I knew it was all some bullshit, it was because when the minute Karan put in paperwork, it was a wrap for negotiations. It was a wrap. So all that back and forth with the Normans, it was a wrap. It was a publicity stunt. Wood nickel. But you already put the disdain. You got some people that every time the Normans, Brian Norman, Norman Sr., every time they come up, they cursing under their breath and saying stuff. It was the minute Karan said, yeah, I'm going to activate this, it was a wrap. They could not do anything else. Nothing. So all of that was some bullshit to divide the fans. I said, man, don't get too high, don't get too low on either one of them. And plus, that's a Philly fighter and an Atlanta fighter. Ain't you gonna want to go to Atlanta and see the fights? Ain't you gonna want a venue where people can go down to Atlanta and that's a possible venue? Or y'all motherfuckers just play Street Fighter on one scene all the time. Y'all just wanted that one scene, right? I bet you a lot of y'all just took that Blanca scene in the jungle. Y'all just played on that scene every time. Y'all didn't like going over there with Vega in the cage. I like having different scenes. So it would have been very nice to actually allow it to possibly be in Atlanta or in Philly. And if it was a 3-peat, we can get Philly twice and Atlanta once. But that'll be somewhere where on a regular, somebody from that area can fight. Because now people just pick and choose. So like a long time ago, Tank said he wanted to go to Chicago. I was like, man, that would be wonderful if he did that. And now more and more people saying they want to go to Chicago, but who gonna pop the cherry? So I said, don't get too high, too low. Those are venues and those are our fighters. Like regardless, at the end of the day, if they had their shit back and forth, don't get caught up in their shit. We should be fans of both of them. That's what the kid said. But I knew it was some bullshit when Karan put that paperwork in. It was a wrap. He couldn't afford the Normans and them. Eddie used it to his advantage. He played it up. He drummed it up. Norman got a lot of hate, Boots and them, and we thought Norman and them they might have got one up because they were going to stay active, defend the belt, do their thing in Norfolk. Then they pulled out. So I was like, damn. So now that's a blemish. Normans and them. Keep it honest. We ain't heard from them. They done went dark, So it had us looking back at Boots. Eddie fumbled the purse bid. Somehow they came to a deal. He was able to land it. He probably paid way more. I'm not even pocket watching, but I did the article. I showed the article. I put the receipts. There's a video out there already. We did it live. Where the sources told you that he probably had to lose part of his shirt to get that done, because when you got somebody by the cojones like that, yeah, they could have made his ass go all the way across the pond and fight over there under whatever conditions, wherever they wanted. They could have did that, or he was gonna have to drop that strap. Somehow, some way, they smoothed it over. You know what I'm saying? Probably gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. That fight's going on. They saying Bam is in the is on it, and it's going to be at Wells Fargo. And all this talk about Virgil would be looking past Karan. That's looking past Karan talk for one. But if we're gonna look past Karan, right? If we're gonna do that, if we're gonna look past Karan coming up here on the 9th, and you're gonna look at Virgil, which is at 54, why wouldn't you look at Murtazaliev? Why wouldn't you look to become one of the Thundercats? Why wouldn't you look to do something that will put you right back in that room of conversation where people have to look right back at Bud and say, hey, Bud, he moved up. You seen what he did to Murtazaliev, Bakram, Abe Lincoln, Murtazaliev? You seen what he did to old Abe? Man, Bud, you got to, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he made a move. He took that belt. He used it like a ladder. He moved up. He beat the shit out of Murtazaliev, man. Hey, Bud, man. And that'll be the major piece. Once you do that, it's you go up and do that. You go up there and you put them on notice like that. That's a statement. That way your career wise, you will have time to go all the way up to 68. But if you stuck at 47 right now, and you fighting the same guy twice, we ain't got no word. They saying the Pacquiao and they saying the Pacquiao and Barrios fight is on the rocks. Ain't no telling if you will ever get a Stan Giannis. Stan Giannis say, I've been signing and saying, yeah, I don't hear nothing back. And Norman, I guess, once he defend himself, once his hand hurt, y'all gonna revisit that, but ain't no timetable on that. And if the negotiations right there, when all y'all had to do was give him a little extra bread, and that didn't happen, and they chose to lose the purse bid and go a different route and refight Karan, who nobody really liked the first time. You're gonna look past him and look at Virgil. I don't get that. But in your opinion, is that chasing greatness? Is it chasing greatness? Is it? I don't know. Champion Sports Boxer, salute Body Work, salute champ, salute. But is that chasing greatness? Virgil Ortiz. Where have we been hearing from Virg? That was a tough thing, but you know, he had 3 dates with Monster Stan Giannis. He went on his run. He's the piranha in my box was the rock. Watch. Relentless body shot, but all that inactivity and then, you know, moving up and not really getting the rounds in. A first rounder that was called, before that, it was a first rounder that was called premature by the ref. I think he should at least let the man go to his corner and come back out, but they called it. But it wasn't much to go by. And then we seen what happened with Boachuk, and now everybody want Virgil, but nobody want Merchants Aliev. And on the contrary, after a fight last night where Catterall did that to Regis, everybody and their mother talking about wanting to fight Catterall. I'm like, man, who's really chasing greatness? Who's really chasing greatness? Everybody want to see Catterall. It's like this recency bias stuff. The recency bias stuff. And then it's like, man, the legit real smoke, the people that look like real, like the people that look like they might be dangerous, people ain't wanting that. They did it to Sabril when he had it. They selective, because that's what I was saying. Okay, so I could deduct that Boots would go if there was rumors out there or knowledge. Let's not say rumors. If there is proof out there that there was an offer that was sent to Conwell and there was a low ball offer, right? If it's proof of that, then that means, yeah, you would go up to 54. Well, if you would go up to 54, why not go for the guy that you got the IBF and get? That's legacy. That's your stamp. That's the way out. That's a no-brainer to me. It's an alley-oop slam dunk to me. I'm sure he would oblige. That will put you right there with the Thundercats. If you're going to just say, all right, we're 47, if you're going to say, all right, well, I ain't going to do that. But it's after I move up, after I get all these belts. It's like, all right, man, that's to me, that's mixed signals, man. It's hard for me to follow, man, because 1 minute it's like after I get all these belts. After you get all what belts? Not when you fighting the same guy twice. That's an opportunity where you could have got it on the Unify. Eddie need to understand your needs, Boots. Your needs are to unify. He put the bread in your pocket, but your needs are to unify, bro. That's your needs, man. They're going to be saying the same thing they say about Tank. Oh, man, he ain't unified. Then when you go to unify with somebody that got a belt, like they trying to do with D-Block, they try to say, oh, man, who was that, man? Oh, man, it's a unification. But somebody like Devin Haney can fight one time and get undisputed, and he's the best thing since sliced bread. I'd be like, these goalposts are ever moving. These goalposts be moving. But when I say, okay, if you would go up to 54 and fight Conwell, because an offer was sent, right? And you saying that Eddie and them saying you will fight Virgil in a heartbeat, right? Then would it not be selective energy if you wouldn't fight this guy, which makes the most sense, which has the clear-cut path, which money-wise and all that stuff, you can, if you do it through the IBF and y'all strike, you know, you submit for it and they say, all right, cool, you can do this. I mean, that's the best way to go if you ask me. You know it ain't gonna be no weight problems for the man. The man fought during Ramadan. And he under the IBF like you, so it's gonna be 10 pounds on that thing. He can't pull the Devin Haney on you. That would make too much sense. All right, so I'm gonna go off of that. I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna go back to the lineup. Let's go over here with Shakur. Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur fans, they don't even care. They so passive, they don't care. They don't even care. The only fans, they don't care. We know that this is the Cold War. This is what I want. This is why I don't know why when I was pressing for it, oh man, that fight not gonna happen, Mike. Why you always leave it alone, man? Why you always come on, man? This not gonna happen, man. That's just not gonna happen, Mike. It's just not gonna happen. I heard that so many times. I said, all right, well, I'm gonna stop talking about this shit then. Damn. But Shakur Stevenson, I tried to explain this to one of his OnlyFans here recently. And I don't think he really listened, because whenever I say something that make too much sense, they got them flaps. You know how most fish, they got like this little layer that go over their eyes, or like alligator. Let's say alligator. They got a little film that go over their eyes. It's like a little pre-lid, right? Whenever you say some shit that make too much sense about Shakur, they got like a pre-lid in their ear, in their eardrum. It's like a prelobe that goes over their eardrum and shit. Like that shit the alligators got for their eyes. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, right? I was trying to explain this to a Shakur only fan the other day. And he hate when I do this, because I'm like, man, I be hating to do this, because it's like it make it seem like I don't have no love for Shakur. Shakur is one of my guys. I just cannot stand. And then when he said, the last thing he said was that, man, he fighting for the people overseas, man. He ain't even fighting for us no more. I said, well, damn, I owe you an apology, because yeah, those fans across the pond they are a little more solvent than us US fans, man. I be busting these US fans, and I be busting their ass like all the time, cause they move and flip flop. And them fans over there, they just want to see a scrap. So I had to give Shakur an apology for it. But I hate to preface that when I talk to his OnlyFans, so I don't even say it no more. So it just seems like I'm just going 100 miles an hour at Shakur. And I'm like, no, you got to understand this. At the point in time when Shakur Stevenson was coming up on the tail end of his contract, everybody knew it was just one more fight left. It sucks that Frank Martin did what he did, and that was a duck. I don't care how much Polynesian sauce, how much duck sauce, how much, what's that here sauce, Worcestershire sauce you put on it, how much dressing you put on it. That was a duck. That was a duck. It's fucked up what Frank did to Shakur and left him there. But we're not going to stay stuck in the past, because he did that. Then he went and got a tank fight. Later on, it was found that he had a tank fight. So a lot of people cleared Frank for it, even though when it came to him and Shakur, that's still a duck. After that, Shakur was scrambling and scraping. He went back down a list, and somehow he came up with Artem. I don't know how. But that's who he chose. And Tim Bradley had came out. Now I play this from time to time, but Tim Bradley came out and he said that Navarrete had a contract. And this is where I started saying, man, I started finding out too much shit about Shakur, and I started, like, you know, when you be nosy and shit. I was nosy about boxing shit. I got too nosy with this boxing shit, and I started seeing all this shit about Shakur. I'm like, oh man, that's not. Oh man, Hope nobody don't get onto this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I was protecting them, but I started seeing too much shit to where I'm like, I can't. Listen, hold on, because people don't be believing. Listen.
You know, I think the interesting conversation that we had with Navarrete in our fight was that he said that he was interested in facing Shakur Stevenson. He said at one point in his career, don't know how soon it was, you know what I do? He said that he had a contract that he had signed to face Shakur Stevenson, and he has no clue what happened on the other end. I just thought that was extremely interesting to hear from his. I don't know how true it is, but that is something that he did say.
He said that when this guy Baranchuk was fighting, this was during the Baranchuk fight. That's what Tim said. So that Navarrete fight, we don't know, but that was, you know what I'm saying, that was batters up. You know what I'm saying? Something happened. That's not the first time. It was somebody else that said that they had a signed contract and didn't hear nothing back. Like where they had a signed one. It was confirmed. So let me get to the point. He knew that the deal with Bob was going to be a 3-fight deal. You have to recognize that on that deal, since he's over there with Top Rank, since the guy on the far right was with PBC, the other 3 guys were with Top Rank, you got to understand that it was going to probably be one of those contenders, one of those rising contenders like a Murataya, somebody like that, probably like a Murataya, and a champion. One of them champions. Either the WBO or the IBF. You gotta recognize that. And I don't know if they was gonna try to give him to fight Keyshawn or not, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta recognize that in them 3 fights, it was gonna be one of them young contenders, one of them rising contenders. You gonna have to give one of them rising contenders a shot. Probably one of them was gonna be, depending on if he got another belt, it was gonna probably be a mandatory or something like that. But he was gonna get one of these guys. He said no to that, and then went to a label when nobody had a belt. So he didn't go to PBC where Tank had a belt. He didn't stay on Top Rank where the other 2 belts were there. But he was on record asking if Tank Davis was going to try to hold him back from getting the belts before he made that decision. And he broke a record. He broke a free agency record. One day, Shakur Stevenson was a free agent. He fought the fight with Artem. I think Eddie said, man, we got a meeting on, I think it was Tuesday. It was Monday. He said, man, we got a meeting. We got a meeting on Tuesday or Monday. The next thing you know, he was signed. I said, man, that got to be the fastest free agency in sports history. Where he chose to go away from away from the label that actually had the other 2 straps and not sign anything, any 2-fight deal, to go try to take Tank for his in a fighter, in like an leading up fight to that. A little 2-fight joint to lead up to Tank, to build it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Little, you know how they do. Like if you come over here, shit, you can run it back with De Los Santos, and then you got Tank right after that. How about that? He ain't even entertained that shit. He went right over the Matchroom. So greatness he is because he's a silver medalist. He in his 3rd division. He unified before. So he checked a lot of blocks. But is that chasing greatness? And how do we move these goalposts? But this is the thing where I say, remember I said selective energy when I was talking about how, all right, Boots, he'll go up and he'll if his team, because we can't separate Eddie and them, you know what I'm saying? We can't separate Eddie and Boots and all them. We can't separate all of that. But if they send the offer over to Conwell and Conwell said that was the low ball offer, it means you're willing to go to 54. That's almost like Shakur Stevenson saying he'd be willing to go to 40 to fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz. but he only wanted to spar Subriel. But Subriel had a belt. I know why, because I did just like I asked for Subriel Matias to use his IBF and go to Boots. I also said, well, shit, if Shakur's willing to go to 40 to fight an Isaac Pitbull Cruz, what's the difference in fighting Subriel Matias? Everybody like, oh, you really hate Shakur, don't you? All right, man. All right, dog. All right, then, dog. All right, dog. All right, man. All right, man. So I'm like, man, when you admit that you would go to a weight class, but you would only fight that one person, because Tank get it all the time. And when he went up there and he just wanted Mario Barrios, when Josh Taylor was up there, we hear about that to this day. But these guys are openly saying, oh yeah, I'll go up there and fight that guy. But if you're gonna go up there and you're gonna dip your toe in that water, then the same standard. See, but they're shit on Tank all day, every day for actually doing it. He went up there and dipped his toe up there in the water. And because it wasn't a high champ, they throw around this Reggie shit. But he still fought Mario Barrios for a title. He actually did that. He get all the shit for not going for the creme de la creme at the division. But here we are with Shakur Stevenson at one point in time was talking about fighting Tio. Because last time I checked, Tio had been moved to 40. Fighting Isaac Pitbull Cruz. But no Subriel Matias. A sparring with Subriel Matias. But check this out. Y'all remember when I said that same thing? Y'all remember this analogy right here? Y'all remember the analogy where Boots could actually use his IBF and yada, 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 right? And I was sitting there thinking, like, why not? Like, yeah, that will put you, like I said, as one of the Thundercats, to be up there with Fundora and Bud. The Thundercats. And y'all gonna get it on. Y'all gonna make history, right? But how about this? We never thought about this, did we? Or maybe somebody did. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody always coming there with some shit before me, even though they don't say some shit after me, but they was thinking it before me, I suppose. We don't think about this. Now, what's that color right there? When it comes down to right here, the guy on the far left, right? What's that color he got right there? He got the WBC, right? He on the far left, right? He on the far left and he has the WBC, the prestigious belt, right? Right? And we know that Devin, he didn't want to go back and get his seat. But if we look in this line right here, 40, who got the WBC right there? And I ain't no genius. Right? But if this guy on the far left got the WBC, you would entertain going up to 40, you about legacy, wouldn't you entertain that guy right there? If you don't know his name is Alberto Puello. He's right there next to, in between Rayo and Paro. Wouldn't you use your WBC to do the same thing that I'm asking for Boots to do with Mercedes Aliev? Oh, nobody knows Puello. Well, y'all think people know Puello. Why? Because Puello edged out a decision with the guy on the far left who at one point in time was a boogeyman. Yeah. Him and Subriel Matias were boogeyman at the same time. People could say what they want. That guy on the far left, Devin had talked cash money. When he went up there to 40, guess who he chose? Regis. Back when I did this, he chose that guy Regis. But this guy right here on the far right, Gary Antoine, this guy Richards and Hitchens been calling him. You know it's a story with him and Tio. Josh Taylor, he stand his ass there. But Subriel Matias was there, Regis. He chose Regis. And that same knee pad wearing Devin Haney only fan, right? That same guy just came out, just did a video not too long ago about how when Terrence had got undisputed, how come he didn't move up and do that and do that to Pacquiao like what he did with Jeff Horn. He just made that argument. He's like, why? He said, because they try to tell me when you got undisputed, it don't matter. You can go up. Well, when Devin was undisputed and he could move up, he chose to go get Regis. He chose to go get Regis. And at the time, 40 was looking a little different. At that time, 40 was looking a little bit different. So if you replace that, that's how 40 was looking. At that time, you see where Devin is at. So that's where Regis was at. But at that time, when Devin moved up, he chose Regis. You can say what you want, but out of the other three of them, when he had undisputed, he moved up and he chose Regis. And what he do? He used that WBC to choose Regis. What shit done changed? Shit done changed. I know because I've been tracking Duro for the longest time. I've been tracking the road for the longest time, man. This is my division. I know it, but shit done changed, right? And that's what happened. That's what wound up happening. So, Shakur, he moved up. He went to the WBC, right? Because that's how he was able to get the belt, right, class? He went to the WBC. He put in paperwork. After that, Devin bounced. Devin was like, man, fuck that shit, man. I'm going to go get Regis. Bam. He went and got Regis. That was the landscape. He did that, and Shakur used paperwork with the WBC to do that. So I ain't no genius, but yeah, you have to defend mandatories. You got to do all this. You got to do all that. But you were saying that your mandatory ducked you. You said you would have went to 40 to go fight Pitbull Cruz, right? But I'm not sure. Would you go to fight Puello? Because you could use your WBC to go get Puello. That guy name, it don't come up. That guy name don't come up at all in the conversation. That'll make too much goddamn sense. But you choose to go over there to Matchroom. Because these guys promised you that they were making American boxing great again. So you went over there. And Sugar Daddy She was like, listen, man, I get you on, I put you on, Shakur. I put you on. You got to let me know, man. I need to know ASAP, man. Run it back right now. ASAP, man. So you went over there and you believed it. And that was part of the reason. That was part of this divide and conquer where people further divided the shit between Shakur and Tank, making it way deeper than what it was. Even though we want to see them fight. Because that's the Cold War. But then your hand got hurt. You still holding on to a title. You were taking a stay busy fight with Cordina for your mandatory. And I'm like, why do we do that? Not only is it all these assassins at 135 that's been saying your name like crazy. Not only that, but if you're going to do paperwork to get Devin Haney's belt, why wouldn't you do paperwork to move up and get that strap? That would be chasing legacy if you ask me. And I don't think anybody up there at 40 right there, except for pussy ass T.O., would be, I don't think none of them guys would run from the smoke. As a matter of fact, Ryu even said Tio don't even like saying my name. And y'all already know what I be saying about the road. I be saying any given Sunday. Why? Because any one of these guys are knock anybody block off at 40. And those guys, they don't have the belts. Sandor Martin got ducked. Richardson Hitchens getting ready to get his shot. He's stepping up to the plate. He's stepping up to the plate under that IBF. He fought under the IBF. He got to get the respect of having fought under the IBF. But my point is, man, we be acting real selective, man, depending on who your fighter is and whatever. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I don't know who to believe. I'm at odds with everybody because I think too much. I think too much. People be wanting me to get online and dumb it down. I be like, I can't, bro. I mean, would you let you hit me in the head or some shit? You know what I'm saying? I might, but you got to hit me in the head, though. You got to be willing to do that. So I'm like, who's really chasing greatness, bro? By what standard? Because, I mean, it's always a standard. I've never heard somebody for somebody to say, well, I think somebody said they would have faced a boxer once, or they answered the question and said, hell yeah, or yeah, I am, or whatever. Asked the question and confirmed it. I've never heard a person who was not the face of boxing had to be told every day that you're not the face of boxing. Like, nobody sits up and tell me every day that I'm not a millionaire. Nobody sits up there and tell me, Mike, you ain't a millionaire. Mike, you know you ain't a millionaire. Mike, man, you know you ain't a goddamn millionaire, boy. Mike, why you know you ain't no millionaire, boy. Mike, why you keep saying you a millionaire? But they operate on faith principles. They operate on the power of positive confessions. You know what I'm saying? That's why people be, they'll preach that shit. They don't believe half the shit they preach. I ain't gonna charge you nothing for that. All I ask is that you support the channel, man. And I'm gonna talk about Virgil. Even though, I mean, he's the last one. I mean, I think Virgil kind of like, man, he like, whew, sheesh. Like, it's getting hot, you know what I'm saying? The kitchen is hot. I think the fight with Boychuk showed him something, but Virgil was battle tested. I think the inactivity probably hurt him more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? And it probably was a little bit underestimation of Boychuk, being the fact that they had sparred before. You know what I'm saying? They say that sometimes sparring is totally different than fighting, man, and people are working on certain things. So maybe that's what it was, but he didn't look all that good against Boychuk, and I thought that Boychuk won the fight. A lot of other people thought he won it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm asking, is he chasing greatness? Because it's a standard for Tank. It's a standard for Tank, and every day people say you ain't greatness, but everybody want to fight him. Everybody know he the bag, and he's more accomplished than all of these guys on here. Outside of that Olympic stuff with Shakur, outside of that, Tank is more accomplished than all of them. They not gonna give him the credit, especially when at the end of the day, the first thing somebody that put on the glove will tell you, what you gotta understand that this is prize fighting. Well, one fighter can go in any goddamn city in America and sell out at the gate. That means he's guaranteed bread. If he can go sell out in San Antonio, Atlanta, Vegas, Baltimore, DC, break a record at DC, in DC, where concerts are held. Barclays Center, sell out. And nobody else can, and people love to say you ain't. That's why I ain't put him up there. Who is chasing greatness? Because we always are being told how Tank is not chasing greatness. We are always told that. But which one of these guys are chasing greatness for real? Because I asked that Shakur only fan the other day. I said, I ain't never heard of a champion go and take a stay busy fight to fight is mandatory. And when the mandatory was saying, hold on, I'm about to have a baby in October, let's do it in November. You say, nah, you ducking The dude have a baby. Well, he don't have a baby. His lady has a baby. His trainer comes out the day after and say, yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Zepeda just had his baby. And I don't know what happened, man, but we getting it on in November. As stated. That wasn't a good look. That wasn't a good look, in my opinion. So to leave that side over there with them three over there, where it was all the belts was over there, to leave them where two of the belts was and go somewhere else that don't have a belt to take a stay busy fight, to fight your mandatory. And that's greatness. And all these guys are out here. All of them. When you should really be, you should be right now. I only have eyes for you. That's how it should be right now. You don't want that guy. You'll put in paperwork to get Devin Haney belt, but you won't put in paperwork to go get this Palo guy? You won't go get him out of there? Because I think a lot of people are sitting back, waiting and watching and hoping that Gary Antoine gonna be able to, they hoping that Sandor Martin gonna get the job done, and then they know Gary Antoine waiting in the wings. Richardson Hitchens is the only one that's really doing work, and he gets slandered the most. You know what I'm saying? Richardson Hitchens gets slandered the most, but Keyshawn getting all the credit for fighting a guy that took that pushed Hitchens to the limit. He didn't get dropped. He didn't get stopped. He got buzzed. He used all of his weapons. He showed his boxing IQ. He clinched when he needed to. He did whatever he needed to do. He even stunned Lemos a couple times. But Keyshawn's gonna get all the credit for fighting Lemos, moving down to 35. But long story short, the reason why I didn't want to put Tank there is because Tank decided he was going to fight Roach. And I have to add that with the exception of what Virgil did, which really that's like the interim shit for real, and that was with Boychuk, that was some interim shit. Because we seen the Thundercats, right? We seen these Thundercats. It's them three, right? So what Virgil did was he fought Boychuk. But out of all these guys, none of these guys was fighting a champion. None of these guys was gonna fight a champion. Matter of fact, Teofimo just fought a dude that had like 9 losses. Shakur was getting ready to fight a dude coming off a knockout. Boots was getting ready to fight the same guy twice when he skunked him 12-0 the first time. Virgil got knocked down twice by a guy named Boychuk and walked away with that belt. Devin fought Ryan in the sandbox. And he ain't even looking to go get his strap back. He wasn't looking, they were looking for him to get the softest touch for the most money. The Haney voice said it. So I'll be asking, man, who's chasing greatness, bro? Cause that shit be getting moved around. I mean, he ain't never unified. I told y'all, a dude told me. First of all, the other day I was like, damn, I was like, man, I guess I'm too much of a hardcore fan. Like the other day, somebody told me this. Look, I was chatting, right? Look at this. I was chatting the other day, right? And when that news came out, and we don't know if it's true, but when that news came out that the fight might be off or postponed with Roach, right? People celebrated. And I said, damn, Mike. I said, I don't care how much I don't like a guy or like a fight or have an issue with how they moving or what they're doing. As a hardcore boxing fan, you would never catch me celebrating when a fight is called off. Like, that means you're not a boxing fan. And I said, you know what? I said, this guy hates Tank more than he loves boxing. I don't hate no fighter more than I love the sport. So you would never catch me celebrating that any fight was canceled or called off. For what? That's paychecks. That's undercard. I was one of the main people saying, man, I ain't like that shit between Spence and Bud and why they couldn't get it on and all this stuff. I say, man, because you know how many careers got laid in the balance? And I think that people don't like addressing certain things. But if you want to be real, that whole clog in the pipeline between that fight, man, that fight put a big ass monkey wrench in PBC. The whole waiting, the waffling, the fighters on, it's off, they negotiating, that whole shit, that whole timeline pushed everybody back. You could see the remnants on Keith Thurman's career, you could see the remnants on Boots' career, you could see the remnants on Monte Stanionis' career. There was a lot of people, all them undercards, all them people they were trying to develop and bring, when them cards didn't happen and there was no major cards and they kept getting pushed back and all these dates kept getting moved, a lot of people careers got fucked up. Domino effect. I said, but I'm a boxing fan. You would never hear me celebrating that a damn fight got canceled. So you actually hate Tank more than you love the sport of boxing. I said, that's some cold, creepy, sick ass shit. That's you. I'm not like that with no fighter. You would never hear me praising that Devin had a fight canceled or some shit like that. It's like I like him. I don't like his ways. I would tell him different. I wouldn't want to be affiliated with him, but that don't mean I hate the dude. And I would do a fucking rain dance and Indian dance when his fight got canceled. What kind of shit is that? But when you're in an environment that fosters that kind of shit, those are the kind of people that hang around. You try to tell me it's context, brother. I say ain't no context in the world for no boxing fan to think like that. Because at the end of the day, we want to see fights. Like if it was a fight on, if I wasn't live, I think I saw a fight on. I wasn't live. I was tempted to watch that shit. I was gonna push my live back just to watch that shit. But I'm a boxing fan. So I try to tell y'all that I said if Tank went ahead and fought Baranchyk, that would satisfy people's desire to actually see him unify. They said, oh man, hell nah. Nah, man, nobody went. Who was Baranchyk? A motherfucker with a belt. Who was Kambosos? Like, the goalposts, man. That's why I go over the curriculum up front, man. But these goalposts be moving because there's no pressure for Shakur. He can move and slide. Like it's a sliding scale with any of these guys. There was no pressure for Loma. I was so surprised that I actually heard Tim Bradley actually say that he would have to say it was a duck for Loma. I was like, damn, if Tim said it, hey, you know what I'm saying? If Tim went there, the company, man, if Tim DS not Desert Storm Bradley, nah, let me stop, man. I respect Tim. But if Tim said that Loma duck, I said, damn, that's bad, Loma. Ain't no pressure for him. Oh, he's done enough. He's did enough. He don't have to do that. And now people try to all they do is redirect all the shit back to Tank. But I'm like, okay, cool. If you redirecting it back to Tank, then who is chasing greatness? Who? Out of the guys that we care about. If we care about all these guys, let's just say we care about these guys. And I could have had like 3 more people up here. I could have had 3 more people. I was about to put 3 more people up there, but I wanted to keep it in context with the guys that we care about. If we care about these guys, who's chasing greatness? Not Devin. He don't even want to go get a strap. He want a soft touch for the most money. He turned down Liam Paro for a strap. So he didn't want the boogeyman and Subriel Matias, but he definitely don't want the guy who beat the boogeyman. He don't want to rematch Ryan. And he don't even want to go fight Puello. Shakur, he don't want to fight Tank. Because he went inside with Eddie Hearn. He didn't want none of the straps because he didn't stay with Top Rank. He wanted to fight. He wanted to fight a stay busy fight to fight his mandatory. But he ain't even signed where his mandatory label is at. He signed with another motherfucker. Oh man. They say Boots is gonna be he's gonna range from 47 all the way up to 68, and it's a one-way it's a highway express right here through the IBF to go from 47 to 54. Vroom vroom vroom. With a guy that's looking like the boogeyman right now. And it's crickets. He going after Virgil. Virgil saying he won Bud. Oh man. Bud said he won Canelo. Keyshawn chasing T.O. He don't want no smoke. He want to jump over. This dude want to jump over because T.O. also said this. T.O. he get to say whatever he want about bananas and pajamas, but he get to turn down the fight with Norman. Norman and them don't get no credit for that, but they get credit for ducking Boots and them when as soon as Karan put that paperwork in, it was a wrap on any negotiations with that Norman shit. Boxing fans are crazy, man. You know, I try to put it all in perspective for you, man, and give you a lot. You know, but I know I'm a lot to deal with, man. Because I just won't take anything, man. But I am pretty reasonable. I do. I feel like I am pretty reasonable. I think it just makes too much goddamn sense. And they're going to continue doing this to divide and conquer. They're going to still slosh you around. They're going to still do crazy stuff like have you all flip-flopping and going all crazy. And we already know. Check out this episode. This go back. If you see this thumbnail, check that out. It's Trouble in Paradise, y'all. It's been Trouble in Paradise. I've been told you. And I've been questioning this. And I even hear people using this now, man. It's like, well, at least the word getting out. I might not get no credit for it, but at least the word got out there. I think they finally packed the Trojan horse up and sent it back on its way. You know what I'm saying? But if you find yourself in a place, man, where they doing that sausage party boxing talk, man, get out, man. Get out, man. Because however you want it, they're going to tell you that your favorite fighter ain't chasing greatness and he ain't this and he ain't that and all this. But I'm just saying, man, with all these standards, with all the exceptions to the rules, with all this pickiness that we be having, well, you'll go to a division to fight one person like Tank did and he getting all the flack. But then behind him, somebody else could say because listen, this the secret. This picture is not the scale. But between Devin and Boots, everybody know goddamn well Devin should be going up there to 47, but how dare you say Boots? How dare you say Boots? Oh man, you trying to kill him? What you mean kill him? For fighting in the weight division that he belong in? But you want to see Tank go to a division. They want to see Tank and Conor Benn at 47. Got mad and said that he ducked. Because he didn't want to go up to 47. How many pounds? What's 47 minus 35? That's a damn shame. Who's really chasing greatness? Salute Body Work. Salute AC. Chasing greatness nowadays is a subject to who you are a fan of. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, sir. They jumped for joy and was like, why? Tank, why? The new rumor was Tank did want to be in Davis Benavidez undercard. Yeah, I seen some stuff where they said that. Nah, man. when it comes to that kind of stuff, man, I let stuff pan out, man. It's obvious that a lot of people, it's a lot of forces, it's a lot of people, because it's crazy how they gotta come out every day and tell you. It's like Tank and them people, taking his people, they don't have the kind of promotion to where they get out and tell you something every day about them. They don't get out and say, yeah, you know, since Tank the face of boxing, you know, we looking to have this fight and we got to make all this money. There is no outlet out here that comes out here on behalf of Tank and them that puts out information every day proclaiming that he's the face of boxing. Proclaiming that. But every day you'll have somebody somehow, some way telling you at some point in time that he ain't shit, that they ignore that he sell out everywhere he go, but that man, he ain't got no legacy. They gotta tell you this every day. If somebody gotta tell you something every day, it's like, who are you arguing with? Cause ain't nobody saying that every day. But y'all make it a point to come out here and address it every day. Like somebody's really arguing it every day. They're not. So I'm like, well, I look at some of the shit that Tank did, like going up to 140. So that'll be the equivalent of Teofimo going up to 47. So since it's full-fledged with it'll be a little bit different for Brian Norman, but that would have been the equivalent of Teo going up to 47 for Brian Norman. Shakur ain't go up there and touch nothing at 40 yet. Tank has. That's what I don't get. And out of all these guys, man, Tank was the only guy that was getting ready to fight a champion, and that was absolutely unacceptable. That shit was absolutely unacceptable that he was getting ready to fight a champion. I said, do you realize that none of these guys was even looking to fight a champion or fighting a champion? None of them. That's gaslighting, y'all. That's when people are defining legacy by this. Just like I said, if he would fought Baranchek and unified, because if he go to fight Loma and Loma say no, he contacts Shakur and Shakur go over to Eddie and sign with him to go fight Cordina and Zepeda, and then Baranchek was right there. If he would have got him and unified, oh man, he waited till Loma got old, and he waited till Shakur got signed up with Cordina, and then he wanted to unify with Baranchek. The goalposts will always move. That's why I just asked, man, like when you look at these fighters and you be talking about your fighter, it's real embarrassing, man, to actually talk about them the way you do, all your guys, but then you can't really define how they're chasing greatness and what they're doing to get there. Because Teofimo Lopez, we have no clue what the fuck he doing. If you listen to Devin Haney fans will tell you that he ducked them. That T.O. ducked him like it was a signed contract, that Turkey did this and that. But I don't believe that shit. I ain't see nothing that said that. And T.O. is not in my good graces right now, so I have no reason to lie. But I didn't see that. I haven't seen anything. I just know T.O., he don't want to fight Rayo. Rayo say, hey, man, when my name mentioned T.O., he act like he don't know me no more. He say T.O. be acting brand new. Devin, he don't want to go get his strap. He went to the bathroom. He ran into Ryan. He got done dirty. Puelo for Antoine for his seat. Puelo sitting in his seat. Devin came out the bathroom. He like, oh man, I don't, nah, babe, nah, babe. Then I'm gonna go a different route, man. I don't even want my seat back. He don't want his seat back. He ain't looking to fight none of the other champions. He want a soft touch for the most money. Shakur got to recover, but he's taking a stay busy fight, or taking some now, or that stay busy fight turning him not staying busy to waiting on his mandatory. And his mandatory about to get busy with a Tevin Farmer. Boots, he getting ready to fight the same guy that he skunked in Quran for the second time in his own backyard. Looking at Virgil. But with Boachek doing that, it's already gonna be an asterisk with Virgil in that. And you know, Virgil and Tim Tszyu, it was messed up that Virgil and Tim Tszyu didn't happen. You know, but it just aligned that it didn't happen. He didn't look that good against Boychuk. But I'm telling you now, man, it's looking like even Murtazaliev, like even this dude said, listen, he said this guy on the left called out to these two, the guy in the middle and the guy on the right. He called them out, man. Ain't nobody said nothing. Ain't nobody said nothing, bro. After seeing him do that to Tszyu, he in your division. But the excuse when Tank went up to 40, like, nah, bro, you can't step foot in my division and not see me. This dude been in the division, got $1 million worth of step aside, all on his dean. Went in there and waxed Tszyu's ass. It ain't nobody saying shit. Ain't nobody jumping out the window to fight that dude. They want Fundora because they seen what Tim Tszyu did with Fundora. It's wild, man. And Murtazaliev called out Fundora and Bud. I don't know, man. What's legacy to you? What's greatness to you? I don't know. You tell me, man. I just thought that I needed to put a stake in the ground, get some shit off my chest, man, and talk about the state of boxing, man, because depending on who you listen to, they will fuck you all up, man. You just gotta take your time. Them goalposts be moving. I'm getting ready to close. I'm getting ready to shut it down, man. If anybody had any problem with what I had to say, you got a problem with what I had to say, or you want to address something that I had to say, the time is now. Is there one? Is there one today? Is there one? You know, I always ask, man, if you catch this on the playback, talk to me, I'll talk back. But you got some ideas, man. I'm getting more and more into the production side, man. I want to get more into the production and the filmmaking and stuff like that now. Started to not be so inspired about the day-to-day shit, because it's boxing is crazy, man. I'll keep putting the stakes in the ground, but I'm leaning more towards the production side of things, like producing, the footage, like doing some of the graphics, more stuff like that. What's going on, AC?
Not much, man. I just hopped up real quick just to chop it up with you, man. Great cook, man. Great topic, because a lot of people just don't, again, think of things from the remedial level and then work their way up. they want to start out with the hard classes, knowing that you ain't ready for the hard classes. But just because you bought yourself a really cool pair of glasses with a really intelligent looking frame, you think you're ready for it. But when the facts are thrown at you, you crumble. It's okay to be a fan of somebody, right?
Mhm.
But when that fighter starts fucking up, you as a fan should be happy to criticize him. Like, what are you really doing? I'm a fan. All right, I'm a Jerron Boots Ennis fan. Okay, if this is what you were saying, you came out your mouth and said you could handle everything from 154 to 68. Then when it was asked, could you actually go up and make the weight at 60 or 68? You're like, yeah. All right. You had people advocating for you, saying, all right, if you're chasing greatness and you really want this bug fight, this dude ain't did nothing in a minute. We was questioning what's going on with this guy. Then he comes out and like a silent assassin, pops a Tim Tszyu fight, and then puts him to sleep in a short amount of time. Now it's like, okay, guys, let me hear from some of you guys that was saying whatever. I want to hear from you. You just let it be known right there. All right, I did a whole cook. I just didn't get on this guy. I got on all of them, and it was always about the same energy. So if I'm keeping the same energy by doing this grander cook with me talking about Boots, me talking about Dev, me talking about Shakur, you feel what I'm saying? Me talking about Pitbull Cruz or Virgil Ortiz and shit like that. Okay, what are you guys doing? Since you guys are the names that whenever anybody does a thumbnail with you, that's when you realize you're gonna get the most likes on it. So what's really good with these guys?
Yeah, like
Now go ahead. Sorry.
Let me ask you this though. Is it just me? Because sometimes I might read into shit too much. Let's just say I am. I like to keep good people around me to check me whenever I'm off. But is the energy different? Like, because after Bakram did what he did to Tszyu, isn't it like kind of like eerily silent? Like after that, like ain't nobody in the mess hall with their chest out talking about where Merchants Olive at?
Yeah, it's
quiet?
like, yo, listen. Right now, it's Christmas Eve, and we reading the tale. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. You feel what I'm saying? That's what this bullshit is like. This shit is like, I'm expecting Jason to come through and kick the cabin door in on a minute, cause yo, y'all niggas is scary silent.
Yeah, because look in the short period of time since Catterall just did that, right? He just did that, and it was to Regis. But look how many people want Catterall. It's saying, oh man, I want going over the match, like wherever, it's whatever. It's like,
yeah,
the energy is different, but the thing is, this is the result. They threw Tszyu away, and they trying to throw Regis away now. That's the crazy part.
Regis, to me, like watching that fight last night, regardless of what you called out about him doing the slick stuff, I was like, Regis is doing this thing. I like this fight. It was a good fight because you just saw a clear turning of the tide and shit like that. I was pretty much entertaining that fight to a certain degree. So I when I look back at it, I'm like, I ain't got no issues with this fight. I don't even see why a motherfucker would turn Regis away. It's like Regis lost the two out of Regis losses are like this. Let's move Dev out of the way because we want to see what happens to Dev after this loss. See if he's still in the game or not. But you lost to guys who previously were saying were the superior boxers.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are legendary talents and yada yada yada. Yo, listen, Jack Catterall and Jared Taylor. Jack Catterall and Jared Taylor. That's all you was hearing. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So all right, we just got an L of both of them. Does that really mean Regis is a shitty fighter? Or does that mean, like it's being said in this title, he's chasing greatness? He knows what he's up against. He knows that there's a strong, if I don't train right, I don't come in right, if I don't have the right game plan, I'm easily going to lose this fight. Get skunked. But he went in there and fought that fight. I'm like, yeah, Regis is doing this thing. I got to get a due respect. And I hope to see him again. Fuck with the internet saying I want to see Regis fight again. Because I think he's worth. I think he's worth the views. He's worth it all. He has that entertainment value.
Now he kind of gotta. Now, if somebody gonna be peculiar about how they move forward, he has to do that now. Like now, now the matchmaker for him could be heavy because he during the time when a lot of people was avoiding him, he wasn't getting the fights and inactivity and having and some short notice, and then some things we ain't even gonna talk about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like some things we ain't gonna talk about, but it's just crazy how people are so vocal about certain things. Like nobody talked about the one-way rehydration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, in that fight. I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want it to seem like I'm going maximum overdrive on one person.
Yeah.
But he needs to be match made. If he's gonna still do it, but I don't want him to go over no bare knuckle, man. Like if them dudes, you get in there with somebody with reach and don't care, like they got, you know what I'm saying, they got a beard, man. That's how people get hurt. I don't want to see him do that. I just think that maybe he should slow down a little bit and be match made, or be willing to fight some fights with some take a little less bread, and not go for the gusto.
Yeah.
But I don't, I think he should still be able to make a bag like everybody else, unless he's gonna convert over to novelty boxing.
I look at it. Go ahead, sorry.
But no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I look at it like this. You got fighters that ascend the belts because of the entertainment value they bring in, the fact that they could sell out arenas and stuff like that. And when you just look at their numbers overall and how many people talk about it. Then you got guys who ascend the belt because they're not quite gatekeepers, but there's something else. They're like Clay Guidas of boxing. They're like these weird guys that are in like this purgatory. You're too good to be a gatekeeper, but you just haven't found the right combination to put it together to get a strap. Whether it's timing, whether it's injuries, whether it's them trying to shelf you or whatever. So what do you do with these type of guys? These type of guys are the guys that I feel that when we see it about you, then it's no longer about the belt for you because you've already did the belt thing. Right now, just make good fights. Get a bag and just make good fights for however many years you're gonna keep fighting.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna get mad at you. They still gonna tune in. All right, you may find yourself headline one or two more joints, but if you're on the undercards of a lot of big shows, then bro, don't be mad at that. Don't think that's a step back. That's just stepping into your lane.
Mm-hmm.
You peaked at a certain point. You peaked when you got the belt, and then there's a whole lot of fuckery that happened to whereas you feel what I'm saying? You lost your belt because the opportunity was there. You wanted to fight, but the situation wasn't perfect. So people took advantage of it. They took advantage of their momentum. They took advantage that they could pull off some of this fuckery, and that's how they beat you. You take away some of that other stuff and look at the same fighter. Does he beat you again stylistically? I don't think so.
It's just messed up how I just see the bigger picture, man. Is just, I guess it's the nature of a boxing fan, man. It's like certain people we could see something happen to one person. They're like, oh man, he'll be back, man. Get off of him, get off his back. Like the Berlanga stuff. This dude got skunked. The dude got stunk. He got skunked. He got dropped. He ain't never had no belt. You know, he get a parade. He get to tell Tank, hey, you can't come over to Puerto Rico. He get to talk cash money. Jermell Charlo, he get undisputed. He move up. Same result as the Canelo fight. He done. He's through. But he undisputed. He's done. He's through. Earl had 3 straps. He's done. He's through. You know, it's just a pattern where, you know, it's you can see what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The underlying lines of it. But I wanted to do a piece. I wanted to do a piece to say, oh man, like, well, are we gonna keep this in mind when we talk about greatness? Because I'm gonna tell you now, man. Every Shakur, every time I hear Shakur come up, man, his fans is just so passive. They don't care about anything. They just so nonchalant. I'm like, well, okay, well, if he's so great, if you take Tank out of this equation, this is the whole thing. Take Tank out of the equation. What is everybody else doing that's chasing greatness?
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
What is everybody else doing that's chasing greatness?
The fans move. The fans, like I was saying, and this is what I was actually thinking with the whole thought. It's subjective to who you a fan of. If I'm a fan of this guy, he's constantly chasing greatness. Look at who he's trying to fight. Well, even if the dude never really sent nothing to anybody or did anything significant, he just said on YouTube, I'd like to fight somebody, or X, I'd like. Yeah, he called them out. He chased greatness. He called them out. And it's like he didn't call them out. He just said he would like to fight him. That's calling a person out. When is that not calling a person? Wow, okay. I could show you an example of a fight call out. Keyshawn Davis saying he wants to fight the what's the name brothers. That's a call out. You feel what I'm saying? But you won't accept Keyshawn telling Shakur, when Shakur and him is talking, listen, fuck that, I'll fight you. Shakur versus Keyshawn, let's make it happen. Oh, he was joking, that ain't no real call out. But Shakur just types, yeah, I would love to get in the ring with somebody. Oh, he calling the nigga out and the nigga ducked. Nah, son, nah. It's like 50 niggas that duck Shakur. Okay, we get where Shakur was ducked. But y'all niggas keep moving the goalposts like dudes playing lottery numbers. 12, 17, 45, 32, 50. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, God damn, bro. I thought the goalpost was behind the first yard line and it don't move. It was stuck in the ground like stakes in the ground. Yeah, nah. That we don't use a goalpost. This touch football. You see where those book bags are? He just kicked one of them so the goalpost just moved up a little bit more. And you like, oh man, how could I have an intelligent conversation with you when this man just does no wrong in your eye? Like he does absolutely nothing wrong. There's a explanation for everything that he does. And in your mind, that shit makes 100% sense.
And T.O., he wandering around like a nomad. He get to say whatever he want out his mouth. I want bud. He turned down the Norman Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever people being mute on that. I'm like, how did you talk like that to Bud and you turn down the guy? Because let me see something.
I think it was you or Pop or somebody that told me, nah, he turned down the Brian Norman fight. And I was like,
yeah,
what?
Look, it was me. Look, do you see this? Do you see that? You see what that guy on the far left, what's on his chest?
Uh-huh.
Well, that guy right there in between Stanionis and Mario Barrios, he got the same thing. He turned it down. That would have been the next logical step on your way to Bud, and it makes sense because you wouldn't have to just jump all the way. You could jump up a couple pounds and then jump up. You could do 7 and 7.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Add seven to go up for Norman, then add another after Norman, having another year, and then you can go up and see. Nobody said nothing about that, but they get passive when it comes to the, you know what I'm saying, to the banana and the monkey stuff. They allow him to say whatever he wanted to say about Bud. They allow him to run around like he ain't in no lawsuit.
Mhm.
You let the Devin OnlyFans tell it. He turned down the contract for Devin with Turkey Sheik. I have no proof of that.
Yeah, I don't have it. I never heard of that one.
Yeah, that's what they be saying.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, where's the energy for him to unify? It's like, yeah, okay, he got Comey. He got Comey, he got Loma, he did his thing down there, 35. He moved up, he got Josh Taylor. But like, why is there no energy for him to get the Paro or the Palo or the? They let him slip by just saying that he offered Sabril Matias. They said that he sent this man something when his hand was injured, and he wanted him to fight right away. The man told him, "Hey man, my hand injured. We can get this smoke." He left and never turned back. He never spent the block. When it was that.
Right now, you guys are vibing, between three fighters. Fuck. Between three fighters, you got Shakur, Dev, and Tio, all vibing for the most hated. They trying to reach the finish line of saying, all right, I am the most hated, right? So what happens here is Tio should be calling out Dev, for the simple fact that if you calling out Dev, you and Dev make a fight, that fight sells just on the fact of how many people hate you two guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's the right, it to me it's the thing to do. Now I was saying, Dev, if you're not looking for a Tio fight, because that's who I'd be calling out at 140, you feel what I'm saying? To say, listen, all right, you call people monkeys and stuff like that. I'll take on that moniker just to try to clear up my image. You feel what I'm saying? But if that's not the route you go, that's not the thing you want to do, take your ass up to 47. Up at 47, you got Stanionis and you got Brian Norman Jr. Those two guys don't have fight scheduled. Why are you not trying to fight either one of them? At 47. At 47, you are damn near the A side to almost everybody up here except Boots.
Yeah.
Why not go to 47, bro?
But to even ask him to fight Boots is like, oh man, y'all trying to get him killed. What's the goal? Where the goalpost at? If he in the division, he in the division.
Yeah. We even said this. Fuck it. Go up to 47. Your first fight up there is you and Blair Cobb.
Yep.
After Cobb, you solidify yourself. Then you say, listen, I want Norman. I want a 2 or 3 fight deal. I want Cobb. I want Norman, and I want Stanionis.
That'll be G to G. That's what's up. That'll be cool.
But we just said right after I said all of that, we was like, we know for a fact Dev ain't doing no shit like that. And I have to say, yeah. But that's what one of your fans would be like, listen, Dev, that's an option right there. If you're not trying to fight Tio next, you're not trying to fight Puelo next and get your seat back, you feel what I'm saying? Go up to 47. You got 3 fights staring at you right there at 47.
Yeah, and seeing what Paro did, because they'll say that he broke Paro's eye socket and all this. Like, well, if you did that to Paro and Paro used his boxing skill against the boogeyman Sabril, and Puelo was able to beat the other boogeyman and Gary.
Yeah.
You got Ryo, who people saying, oh man, who is Ryo? He's soft. I was like, well, y'all was saying that Pitbull was the man. Like, so
Yeah.
he earned his stripes, but the goalposts move on that. Any
Yeah.
one of these guys for Devin is acceptable. He
Any
turned
one
down.
of them.
He won't fight Puello for his strap. He turned down Paro, wanted $4 million. He's saying that Tio turned him down. Well, what happened with Ryu?
Yeah.
You would be the A side over Cruz, wouldn't you? That'd be a bigger fight, I think, since Cruz lost. But it's a rematch. I guess it was a rematch in the contract, but
Yeah.
outside for that, there is no talks. It's all this. Oh man, he need a soft touch. He need a get back fight. I'm like, well, he didn't lose. Remember, he didn't lose. Yeah, but he can't just go back. You gotta remember he got cheated, and I'm like, all right.
Okay,
so you're gonna have it both ways.
It's like, listen, I get he was cheated. I'm not gonna argue that no more. You feel what I'm saying? He didn't lose anything. You got your belt. You had gotten your belt back, and you got your O, right? If you choose not to rematch this guy, fuck it, fine. But if you want to bounce back from what people saw, you got to give us something to see. And I just look at it as it's just that simple. It's 1 + 1 = 2. If you want us to forget what we saw, then give us something better to see. And right now, I don't know what you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know.
Let me ask you this, AC. Because he tweeted out that he ruined Regis. And I'm like, man, knowing you had a goddamn one-way rehydration, like, why would you do that? Like, see, that's the stuff that Dev do that bait. It's like, man, you make it hard for people to pull for you, dog. But they boxers and he could take his shots. But what did you think about that?
It's, if you're going to do shit like that, Dev, come out and tell us that lawsuit was just a joke. It was cap. It was something your lawyer tried to do, and you told him, no, I ain't going out like that. And then people might respect you if you said you ruined this guy. But other than that, Dev, I'd be like, Dev, come on, man, shut the fuck up with that, bro. That shit that's not a good look, my guy. You gotta
just get back in the saddle, man. Yeah, just get back in the saddle, Dev.
Yeah, we don't want you to become, Devin Haney Twitterson or whatever. It's just, bro, leave the social media alone. Get back into your work, get back into your craft, fix the flaws that you have, and come back strong. And get the fuck up out of 140. If you're not gonna fight Tio and you're not gonna fight Puello, get up out of 140. You already got the belt. Your 140s, if the history books gonna automatically tell us you was undisputed in one weight class, then you went up to another weight class and you snatched up a belt. You feel what I'm saying? In an impressive fight, you can whitewash the whatever to where that shit'll disappear. Like the video of Jadakiss. What's the name in them smacking up Joe Buttons? It'll disappear like that. So at the end of the day, you can come back like Joe Buttons and have the Joe Buttons podcast, but it'll be all about Devin Haney. But you're not doing that. So it's like, bro, as a fan of yours, it's like, my God, come on, man. But
also, it also will let you know that the lesson wasn't learned, because there was a lot of stuff that was said in the build up to the Ryan. I'm gonna unalive him. I'm gonna do all of this. You barking right back up that tree. Talking about I ruined them, and now you putting that expectation. Well, okay. Well, if you ruin him, ruin this guy then. It's like, no, but you can't be saying I ruined this guy, but you and your people, all your people out here campaigning for a soft touch. Like, y'all are advertising. It's ads in the paper. I swear I seen one in the paper that said soft touch, like a Charmin. I didn't even know they made Charmin fighters. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's looking for. And it's like, come on, man, you can have it both ways, bro.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I was one of those guys that was in the beginning asking for a soft touch to come back. And then I was like, no, if you want to come back, you come back just as strong. Don't do no soft touch, because you didn't lose nothing. So just keep it moving like you didn't lose nothing. Keep it moving like you won that fight. Because the history books say it's not even a no contest.
Right, it's gone.
It's gone. That fight don't exist.
That don't even happen in boxing.
Except the footage.
Yeah.
That's it. History ain't gonna remember that fight. That fight is not on your shit. So, bro, what is you worried about? You got a whole extra player in the undisputed game. Got knocked out and was able to come right back, and the game just glitched and said, "No, you didn't get knocked out. Continue to fight." And what are you doing? Complaining and talking about court cases and all of this other goofy shit instead of saying, you know what, this dude's suspended. I'm gonna fix my mistakes. I'm gonna keep busy. So when this dude comes back, the same way, just between me and him, he know he got those little bit of advantages over me. Guess what? Your shit is gonna be in inactivity, and my shit is gonna have being faced tough fighters and honed my boxing towards I'm gonna beat the living dog shit out you. I don't want a knockout. I want to beat you up for 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Then everybody be like, yeah, Dev is back. Dev is back. You feel what I'm saying? Then the other guy over on the other thing is gonna make some crazy video talking about, you know, Devin Haney is a much, much more superior fighter than Crawford, Ali, and Sugar Ray Leonard. He'll be saying some shit like that, and you just be like, wow, okay. I don't know where you got that from, but it is what it is. It's the shock value, so when you go over there and you're going to have the little link put up, as soon as you click the link, yeah, bro, hold on, man, I don't really know where you're coming with this. It's hard for me to see the connection. Put the nigga on mute. Fuck you, talk about you bitch ass nigga. I do the fuck I want to do. Bitch ass dick sucking fucking sob knobbing mother. You feel what I'm saying? And you just be like, wow, okay. It is what it is. Yeah, I knew better, but I knew it was dog shit, but I wind up thinking, you know, trying to say, nah, it ain't dog shit. It's just a little bit of Georgia, you know, red clay mud. So I can rinse this shit off. And when you smell that smell, like, oh yeah, this shit still stinks. Yeah, it's still dog shit. Ain't nothing changed with this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you be killing them analogies, man. You had me laughing, boy.
Yeah, bro.
But
But it was a, you know, good chatting with you, bro. Great cooking and shit like that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for coming through and adding on to it, man.
Yeah,
I just wanted to do something, man. Just putting my feelers out and just looking and seeing everything, man. I'm like, man, let me try to figure out if we could calibrate some of this shit, you know what I'm saying, and get to the bottom of what people are saying. Like, be a fan of who you a fan of, like who you like, but let's put the goalposts down. You can hurt your back, man.
Yeah, that shit does get heavy, digging them holes and then dragging that big motherfucker, especially on windy days, bro. I don't know how y'all niggas do that shit. It's windy, it's raining, it's snowing. Y'all niggas still be finding a way to move that goalpost. For real. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that's why I keep saying to, you know, some people, yo, listen, take the red pill, bro. It'll open your eyes. You can still be a fan, you feel what I'm saying, but as long as you keep fucking with that blue pill, you always gonna see the shit the way it's meant to be because you caught up in the matrix.
Yeah.
That's where I'm a land that plane right there. Great show talking to you, bro. And that's why I fucks with you and Pop the way I do, because it's like my girl be like, oh, I don't hear you cursing people out and arguing like you used to. I was like, because I'm having intelligent conversations. We can disagree, but we understand each other's points in the disagreement. Like, right. Yeah, I can see where the argument lies in that case, You feel what I'm saying? And I see where you lay in your argument. Yeah, I could see where you could have that perspective, but I still don't agree with it. But I could see where you can have that perspective. You feel what I'm saying? And that's all I ever wanted from being on YouTube and going on panels and just talking boxing.
That's what's up, man. That's what I try to do. I get a little hype sometimes, but it's happening less and less now. So you know. But yeah, I appreciate you, man. Good cook, man. You know I'm gonna be back tomorrow as always.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, brother. Well, have a good evening, brother.
You too, man.
All right, man. Said that's all he ever wanted, man, to be able to talk, reasonable dialogue, intelligent conversation. That's why I created my channel, man. For people who kind of think outside the box, you kind of non-conformist, and your mind, your critical thinking skills are not being exercised out here on YouTube, man. People they'll set a standard, and then when you follow the leader and play their game, they'll say, "Oh man, all you do is tear people down." It's like, well, you started it. You started it. Go figure. But I just want to give you something to think about. You know, as always, man, I don't beg, you know, but my Cash App is there. My Super Chat is there. It does take time and energy and effort to put these things together, to get these programs, to be able to do these visuals and take time and stuff like that. So if you can support the channel, you know, like the videos. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Remember, this is fact-based content. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, the alternative to opinion-based. You know, I'm gonna keep putting stakes in the ground. I'm gonna keep standing on, you know, sound reasoning, critical thinking, not rote memorization and regurgitation, man. I'm allergic. I'm not a yes man. I don't feel like I should have to be a part of a clique. I'm not gonna go sit on Santa Claus lap, you know, to get an endorsement. Oh man, subscribe to my partner. I'm not doing all that, man. We should be able to. We grown. It's not high school. You should be able to go and cross-pollinate channels, man. You should be able to go on whatever channel, have a good time, make your points. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go get some light sparring. Sometimes you go in and, you know what I'm saying, you get a real scrap. It happens. You know what I'm saying? You live to scrap another day. You live to talk boxing another day, man. And that's what we need to do. But we got to put these goalposts down, man. You talking about your favorite fighter, man. Ask your favorite fighter, or ask yourself, what is your favorite fighter doing that's chasing greatness, since you got all this disdain and hatred for these other fighters? What is your fighter doing? What is your fighter doing? But thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.